Okay. Friday night, I can see it is very evident. A lot of people had to choose between um, two names, right? Either um, Kingfisher or Current Affairs. Both starts with K, but Kingfisher wins. All right. So, okay, another one more minute, guys, and then we will obviously begin. I hope you are guys are keeping in line with the news articles that are there, right? You guys are reading the news. You guys are updated with what are the different things happening in the economics, in the business space, in the tech space related to business, right? You don't have to go and find out what new technology has come up, but what are the interesting things happening in the business space. Okay, so let's begin, guys. I think a sufficient number of people have joined, and today, all right, I'm going to share my screen, and I hope you guys are able to see my screen. Please let me know if any of you are not able to see my screen. I'll keep the chat to the side so you guys can. Okay. All right, guys. So, having spoken to a lot of people, and I don't want to name any of these students, I've realized that a lot of you have had your first round of interviews. Some of you have done a decent work, right? Some of you have been scared to death, either by Ajay or by Praveen, saying that, hey, I don't think it's going to be easy for you to craft your own story, right? Simply because our interviews, maybe had some very fancy or scary or dreadful questions that we were not able to answer. Most of them being about ourselves and what we have done, right? I don't think they can ask you any subject based questions at the moment, unless it is something that you have done. And whatever you would have said would have to be considered as the truth, right? Because nobody knows what you have done with respect to anything, your internships, your jobs, your course, or your projects, anything. Okay. Let me ask you one question, guys. Okay, and let's begin our questions here. The first being, is being selfish a bad thing? Is being selfish a bad thing? Can you hear what I'm saying, guys? Can you hear what I'm saying? People are saying the voice is breaking. Is it breaking? Okay. Okay. Now let me help you understand. Let me ask you this question. Okay. Valentine's Day is coming, right, guys? What is your plan? Valentine's Day is coming. Eat, sleep, repeat. Very interesting. Netflix and chill. Acha. Hmm. Okay. When a guy takes a girl out on Valentine's Day, and let's say he spends a great amount of money on a very fancy restaurant or a candlelight dinner, maybe even buy a very expensive gift. Why does he do that? Why does he do that? To impress her, impress, first impression. Arey, first nahi yaar. It's your own girlfriend. You would have seen her before also, na? Nice gesture in hope of a positive answer, hope that she will be his. Kya baat hai? My God, this is the most romantic. I feel like I'm in a Shah Rukh Khan movie. To make her happy because she likes it. To show love and impress, also caring. Oh my goodness, scary. Memorable and with hope that there will be another date. I like Manek's answer to some extent. Very funny, guys, your answers are. You, yes, of course, you buy the gifts to impress her. Why do you want to impress her? Let me ask you a better question. Why do you want to impress her? So that she doesn't go out with another guy on okay. So she continues to be the date, expecting something from her to get something back in return. Kunal is already laughing. Arey yaar, Kunal, take your head out of the gutter, bad boy. Okay, guys, we gift somebody to let her know that she means everything. Acha. Hmm. Such a moral science answer because we see a future. Are Kevin sir, you don't even know if you are going to B school in 2 months. तो future देख रहा है लड़की के साथ where the half the money come from your dad. अच्छा, तो खुद का future कुछ नहीं clear है और you are already seeing a future with somebody to show affection. Okay, let me stop that right now and help you understand why. You buy a gift for her because you know it will impress and make her feel nice. She will feel happy, and that happiness is causing a high inside you. Yes or no? Yes or no? So, people sitting here, please understand you are doing those things because you want to get the good feeling. If not, you would have bought every girl some gift, or even the girls you don't like, you would have put an attempt to go get a gift. People who are single would have actually said, all those people who said Netflix and everything, you guys would have actually taken an effort and given gifts to people. We give donations, we give gifts, we help others because in doing so, you end up getting the great feeling back to yourself. Yes or no? Unless somebody is forcing you. Unless somebody is forcing you. You are not doing it for the welfare of the girl. You are not doing it because that girl can't afford anything. You're doing it for yourself. Guys, even girls also. You write out a letter, you give a box of chocolates, you get a new shirt in hope that the guy that you like likes it, or your father likes it, or your brother likes it, because seeing them happy in turn gives you a high. So you are indirectly, and I'm not getting philosophical here, guys, I'm trying to teach you some basics before you start answering some of those superficial questions. You are creating happiness for yourself, not for others. There is no selfless love, guys. It is always selfish because you are doing that because it gives you a sort of happiness internally. It all goes back to you. So, is being selfish a bad thing? I don't know. But is being selfish innate to all human beings? Yes, my friend. Because trust me, somewhere or the other, we love ourselves above and beyond everybody else. And when you project it outwardly, is when people call you a narcissist. Trust me. This is the first thing for you to understand. If you are not selfish about yourself, you can't, and if you're not keen and dedicated and crazy about your own self, you are never going to find happiness or dedication or success with anything else that you have. Is that clear to you guys? Think about it. Think about it. It's not that you have to accept what I'm saying. Because the basis for every answer begins with this: being selfish, which means you will go back and introspect, figure out things about yourself. Half the time I talk to people, they have no clue what they are made of. They have no clue what to say about themselves. That seems to be the biggest difficult thing for people. And I do hours of therapy sessions with adolescents and people of your age for the very same reason. Right? You cannot not love yourself and then say that, no, 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 you know what? I'm going to rule the world. Does it make sense, guys? Difficult to accept, I know. Think about it. I'm not saying that I said it and you have to internalize it. Think about it. Let me ask you another question. Is showing off a bad thing? Is showing off a bad thing? Is showing off a bad thing? I see multiple answers. Yes, no, sometimes I depend. I believe so. Depends on situation. Most of the time, yes. In excess, yes. Self-marketing is important. Okay. Interesting answers. Some of you might be wondering what is the purpose of this session, right, guys? It is very, very important. It is very, very important to understand showing off is okay as long as it is at least 70% true. And if you are not going to tell people, you go to an MBA school. Let me ask you a question. You went to engineering college, right? You go to an engineering college. You all join together in multiple batches, right? How do you make a name for yourself in the batch? Some people say that, hey, you know what? I think I'm crazy, or I prove or show that I show it to the outside world that I'm great in football. Some people are great academically. Some people are great in arts, drama, music, singing. Some people are good looking. What is the harm in letting people know your positive sides? There's no, how can you hurt someone by showing off? You can't hurt someone by showing off. You can hurt someone by putting them down. I'm not saying putting them down. I'm the best faculty CL Tambaram has. Yeah, what's the problem if I say that? If I have achieved something and I flaunt it, why not? If I've lost weight and I flaunt my six packs, why not? If I've got a 99.99% and I put it as an Instagram post, my achievement, yes, I'd like the world to know. If it is fake, makes sense. You are misleading people. If you're not rich and yet you put up all these filters and you stand in front of somebody else's vehicle and you post pictures saying this is mine, makes sense. That is bluffing. That is lying. That is not showing off. If you have your strengths and you are not going to show it off, let me tell you guys, do you know what is the most stupid question ever to be asked in an interview? Can you guess, guys? Let me see what is your guess. What is the most stupid question asked in any kind of an interview in this world? Tell me about yourself. No. सोच के बताओ. Vignesh, I like you. Rajita, why should we select you? No. One, guys, the most stupid question that anybody can ask is, what is your weakness? Do I look like some bakra that I will come to an interview after taking so much of effort and paying so much of money and tell you what my weaknesses are? Do I look like a dumb fuck to you guys? Tell me. मैं क्लास लेने आया हूं और I will tell you people all the weakness. यार मतलब you know what, I am not good enough to take a class. मेरा कोई ये नहीं है वो नहीं है. The question that you will ask is, तू आया क्यों फिर भाई? क्लास लेने ही क्यों आया था? Just sit at home and chill. No, don't come to teach. So what I suggest is, obviously you can't tell them now, please don't go to your interviews and say sir ne bola tha that your question is absolute rubbish, I'm not going to answer this question. आप कैसे मेरा weakness पूछ सकते हैं? You can't say all these things, right? So what do you do when people ask you stupid questions? Give them an appropriate answer for it. For example, I figured out that, tell me your weakness. Tell them my weakness is music. My weakness is music. Weakness also has that meaning. My weakness is music. My weakness is food. My weakness is great clothes. This is what my weakness is. And then they're like, no, something of that is when they will correct and they will realize half the time. And this I did in my first interview with matrimony.com when I was going for product manager's role. They asked me, tell me your weakness, music, ma'am. Right? Because please understand, you are there to impress a client. Will you go to a business meeting and tell 10 things that your company is not worth. Madam, don't do business with our company, yaar. Matlab our company ka CEO is stupid, HR policy is very bad, remuneration to time pe nahi milte hain, none of the projects get completed in time. And then you say, please select me or please accept my deal. Will that ever happen? How is it different from your interview? So when you are trying to master the art of storytelling, which is very, very important and which people pay billions of dollars to understand. I'm not joking, guys. Go and check out the courses that are there online on art of storytelling or the kind of sessions that people do. They charge you lakhs because people don't introspect and understand the key parts about themselves and then market it effectively, because we have been brought up in a society which taught us to be middle class. The worst lesson my mom taught me was, Bibin, you should always learn to be humble. Impossible. I will not be. I will not be. Because if I have put an effort to achieve something, why should I be humble? Of course, I should not harm people. I should be nice to people. Agreed. That is agreeable. But if I have achieved something, keep it in the blinds. Most of your things, most of your answers come up where you do not call out major things that you guys have done, but then you have to go and rely on some lousy assignment or lousy project that you did in college. Why? Because the key things about each of us, it can be very, very small and insignificant to other people, guys. It might not be the same as somebody else's height, but you build your own empire, right, with what you have. So please try to show off as much as you can in your interviews. I'm not saying sound proud. That is different. Showing off is different from sounding proud, meaning having that vanity that is there. Hey, you know what? Everybody else is lower than me. No. Say that you are the best person in the room. They ask you questions like, why should we select you and not the other person? I don't know. I don't know what the other person has as weakness. I don't care. Because here, I'm here to portray the best of myself, not the worst of somebody else. When you have the art of storytelling, try to avoid negativity. And for that, the best thing is try to avoid comparison. Am I better than her? I don't know. I could be better in some things. I could maybe not better in others. Somebody else. And why does this have to be comparative? It can be absolute, right? So please remember, when you do your story, try to figure out important things. I'll tell you a simple example. And I was talking to one of the students. How many of you have heard of this condition called as ADHD? ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. You guys have heard it? Okay. I have the highest level of ADHD. Last April, I knew this always, but last April I got myself diagnosed and I got my tests done. And the doctor said, Bibin, why didn't you ever take consultation? You have the highest level of ADHD. I have no clue how you even finished school, because people with ADHD can't have an attention span of more than 15 minutes. They are very, very highly impulsive. Some people even use medication to calm themselves down because they're very super, it's like as if they are on cocaine the whole time. Right? They're super pumped the whole time. Now the question is, do I feel shy about it? And all my school, what happened, I felt shy about it because they threw me out of class. My mom punished me, teachers punished me, everybody bullied me because I spoke too much or I was having too much of energy. But please understand, the professions that I've taken up today in marketing, in all the events that I go and host, the legal work, and the teaching work that I do requires me to be energetic and requires me to speak endlessly. So things that you have as traits have to work in your favor, because please understand, you are a human being. You can't have all the check boxes ticked out rightly. So is showing off a bad thing? Not at all. Because if you do not do it, nobody else is going to come and do it for you. And showing off doesn't have to be open and screaming on top of the hills and always have to be an Instagram post. It can be something that you write. It can be a competition that you win. It could be any ways, right? However you would want to represent your talent. I'm not saying you choose one medium or the other. Bringing somebody else in bad light while you're showing off is the wrong thing. But showing off overall is what you need to do if you are at any place, because if you have to impress someone, you need to market yourself. And that, my friend, is the definition of showing off. How many of you watch basketball? How many of you watch basketball or football or cricket? None of you guys? Okay. When I talk about football, who are the names that come to your mind? And when I talk about cricket, who are the top names that come into your mind? Of course, you can name the whole team of your favorite club, but name some top players. Harsh says CR7, Ronaldo, Kohli, Dhoni, Messi, Steven Gerrard, Chetri for local football, Pele and Rahul Dravid. Do you understand? There were 11 players. There were 11 players, but people who portrayed themselves, who went up to the top and showed off, are the ones people remember. People who come on ads, people who stand in award functions, people are invited to big events, people who sponsor the biggest brands, people who are very well dressed, right? Because you need to not just do your work, but also show off. You need to show skills in the game. You can normally go and score a goal, but you do skills in the game to keep the audience attracted. You do ads, right? Showing off should be a bad thing. Why the hell are your favorite stars doing all this nonsense? Sir, because they are stars. No, they are not. They are football players. They become football stars the moment they start showing off. So all these people here, if you think MBA is anything else but showing off, obviously with having backing to it in terms of knowledge, if you think sitting subtly in one corner and writing two pieces of code or not coming under the limelight is what you like, MBA is not for you. Because coming under the limelight, making tough decisions, and showing off where required is exactly what you require if you're going to do an MBA. Of course, the other people also exist. I'm not saying they don't, but that does not mean that is the way things are supposed to be done. If you are an if you're an introvert, flaunt it. Flaunt it. If somebody else is an extrovert, doesn't mean that you have to be like them. My cousin who was from Niti, Mumbai, he's now, I think, second or third in line. You can go and Google him if you want. Alex Joseph. He's second or third in line to become the next chief operations officer of PNG. He speaks very less. He speaks very less. My mom tells, see how he is. You should learn to be like him, speak very less only where required. Well, my friend, he's not in marketing. He's in operations where maybe his job requires only that much. That is his style of doing things. This is my style of doing things. Right? So each of you have your individual styles, and sitting here, if you guys are able to make even 1% sense of what I'm saying, then you guys are sorted. If you think, no, the sir is crazy, he's giving some philosophical gyan, who can do all these things, showing off is such a bad thing, what is wrong? Guys, keep all these moral science in your classrooms in school where you studied them. Even there, it was a non-academic subject. Nobody gives a shit about all of these morals as much as you think. Okay? So if you have to stand out, you have to show off. If you don't want to, and if you want to get caught in the crowd, well, the premier B schools don't want such kind of people. So you can obviously go and take your chances without putting in effort in one of those mediocre schools. Make sense? Any questions that you guys have? Any questions that you guys have? I'm not saying you have to agree, guys, but I'm saying what I've seen work for many million students across B schools, across years. And that's what I'm trying to propagate here. Any questions that you have? Negative impact. Negative impact के मतलब क्या? Obviously, when you show that you're doing well in life, there are people who are not going to like it. So, mind your business, no? You take care of yourself, yeah. Why are you so bothered about what other people think? Do they pay your bills? No. Do they pay your bills? They don't. Do they put the effort for you when you were struggling hard for cash? No. Vishal, when I was 24, I was stupid. When I was 23 is when I joined MBA, I think. Yeah. When I was 20, yeah, kab tha? Shit, I forget. 23, 24 only I joined MBA. I was really, really stupid. You know what I asked my friend? And I spoke to the same friend this December when I went to meet her. She's my best friend, Chitra, for the past 10 years. She still reminds me of that day before going to MBA when I said, Chitra, how do I make sure I talk less and become very attentive in class and I act very classy? And this time when I went and I told her, hey, Chitra, you know what? I don't care, man. I am this arrogant guy who's got things sorted in the way that he is supposed to be. And then you know what she said? I told you that day itself, you can't do it. You can't stay silent. So go be the best version of the crazy sounding person that you are. Yes, Joe, why not? You can do that. I told the interview panel that I was in a band. You know what they asked me? Do you have a proof? I was like, yes, sir. Go to YouTube and check. My videos are there. Back in 2013, having a video in YouTube was a big thing. They didn't ask any questions. They didn't have the guts to ask. Because if a guy is that sorted and he knows that stuff is out there and he's daring you to go and watch it, maybe he has his things sorted. Right? You can't go on the day of the interview and put up 3 pictures of you on Facebook and then say, hey, you know what, this is what I've done. Create your personal brand. Create your page, your WhatsApp page, your Instagram page, your LinkedIn page in the way you would like people to have an impression of you. What do you like to tell the world that Joe Daniel is, or that Vishal is, or that Utkarsh Jha is? That is the story that has to be reflected in every place that you are present. People say, oh, he's flaunting his six. Anybody who's worked out really hard or gone to gym and put actual effort knows the physical pain it causes before you get fit, right? The physical pain that you have to go through every day, and also the control that you have to have on your diet to get what you have. What is the problem in showing off, guys? Tell me. If you are an achiever, telling the world that you are an achiever, what would you like to tell the world? That I'm a loser? I'm good for nothing? Please have mercy on me and consider me your friend? There is a saying which I most love. This came from the movie Coach Carter, the English movie some of you would have seen. There is no enlightenment in playing low so that other people won't feel insecure around you. Just because other people have to accept you or they have insecurities and they have not done well in life doesn't mean you have to play low in front of them. Keep your standards. If they are good friends, they will at least see that and they will step up. If there are good people around you, even if it's family or whoever it is, if they can't be happy and understand that you have done something successfully in life and call you a show off, well, guys, I think you need a different set of friends or family. Please understand, you're going to make zero impression in an interview if you don't start showing off. I am the best goddamn person existing in this world today. I have these limitations, not weaknesses. I have these limitations simply because I'm human. But this is where I use my limitations to kill it. Be the best person in the world. Can you create that impression? You have your about me sorted. Now, let me ask you a simple question. Okay, we already spoke about weaknesses also. Now, I'll slightly digress because let me ask you this question. How many of your parents, all of your parents, okay, I want to think about all of your parents right now. Think back from school days onwards. Think very clearly. How many of your parents managed the money that they had properly and took care of you guys in whatever way they could throughout school and maybe through college? How many of your parents did this? They managed the money that they had. They managed the relatives that they had. They managed all the nonsense around. Crisis happened, they managed it. In whatever way, guys. It is not that everyone has to do it correctly, but in whatever way they knew. Acha, all of your parents did. Do you think, therefore, all of your parents are great MBA candidates? Do you think, therefore, all of your parents are great MBA candidates? Can you say that if my dad goes to a B school or my mom goes to a B school, they will rock it because they've managed people and finances? Can you say for sure? Can you say for sure? Why not, guys? They managed everything properly, na? They manage people, they manage money. Operations is taken care of, they've taken care of HR, they taken care of finance also. So marketing to shayad thoda parents are not very strong in Indian families, no? Marketing bhi wo karte hain bahut. Over crying, over shouting. बच्चों का रिजल्ट्स पब्लिश करना, दूसरे बच्चों के रिजल्ट्स पब्लिश करना, that is also one talent in marketing that certain parents have. This is the same thing what happens when you guys say that because I did some college ka event, because I conducted or managed some tech fest ka ek event, I am the best MBA candidate because I know how to do management. Nay, that is different. That can be one of the smaller things you say, but you can't say that you managed things. Of course, you are in a day-to-day function. You are supposed to manage people and money and all of those things. That is what everybody does. The pocket money given to you every month from your parents, you manage to live within those means. कल आपको ज़्यादा पैसे मिल जाएं from IIMA, you will try to adapt to that sort of a living. That is not the favor you're doing the world or your. You understood? The moment all of you start using the fact that, hey, you know what, college में मैंने ये event conduct किया था, तभी मेरे को realization आया. अच्छा. And all throughout college, when you were having Maggie in the month's end because you finished the money the previous week, maybe going for a trip or having a drinking party, you are not managing money. Tabhi bhi also you are managing money. Tabhi bhi you are managing people. You manage your friends. The highest amount of organizational politics happen in hostels only. You manage different types of people, your family, your girlfriend, your friends, your teachers. Manage accounts with people. So are you trying to tell me that this is what is go back, revisit your answers to see what can you add instead from school onwards. What are those most even guys? I'm sorry, the internet stable connection seems unstable. Can you guys able to hear me clearly or is it breaking? Oh, sorry guys, hold on. Is it still bad? Can you guys hear us now? Okay, cool. Okay. What I'm simply saying is, you guys are not going to be the best MBA candidates when you have, there's so many things, right? Every time I talk to a student, I was like, Acha, what about this? Oh, sir, I did not know this was important. I did not know that this experience of mine, this learning of mine was important because it happened in school, right? How does it matter? There are a lot of things that you guys will have to go back and figure out. I like the question Vishal asked me. Sir, did you know all this when you're 24? No, man. I wrote the worst SOP for SP Jain, and today I realize, yeah, if they took me for SP Jain, I would have killed myself. Forget them feeling that anything. Because you wrote such a lousy about me and all these things. Today, at least Ajay is there to guide you guys, right? I didn't seek guidance. Ajay was there even then also. I knew about Ajay, but I did not directly interact with him at that point. Right? I did not seek the guidance or the help. But if you're not able to tell a wholesome story about yourself, touching important parts, saying, I went, let's say, for example, I went from my college to a international program. I went here. आपके जाने से क्या होगा भाई? Tell what you learned from there, ना? वहां जाने के लिए what did you have to go through? Did you borrow money from your friends to go through because you are ambitious? या फिर वहां जाके you are able to adapt to something new? What happened differently? This is like saying I went to IIT Sarang. Who gives a shit if you went to a tech fest? What did you do in the tech fest? IIT जाके किया क्या? There are also deers and monkeys in Gindi National Park who cross over to IITs. They'll also put on their resume what? कि हाँ मैं IIT गए थे. Monkeys to stay there for 8 to 10 years. 2-3 डिग्री कर सकते हैं वो लोग. Right? Specifically, that is exactly the problem that we do, right? We fill our resumes with participations. We never tell what really did we contribute in that participation. Are you guys able to understand? Am I making myself clear, or is it not clear? A lot of this might be hitting you guys at the surface, but I want you guys to go back and internalize, write these things down, go back to each and every step, and then rethink your answers of about me. Rethink your answers of why an MBA. That time itself, you'll understand, am I really looking to do an MBA? Or am I just doing it because everyone is doing it? First question. Second question, am I actually going to the college that I like, or I'm just doing it because I'll be age over and I'll just settle for something? All these questions ka answers will slowly start popping in your heads, and you will be able to make great decisions. Don't fall under the pressure of a CL Tambaram to say that is saal mein nahi gaya, so then I will never be able to make it. Trust me, if you ask me, I would have rather done MBA at the age of 28, because that is when things started making sense to me. Things started coming out, or maybe it was because I went to the MBA school, but I don't know. I still feel that I did not make the best use of my MBA. I really did not. There was a huge library. TAPMI has the most amazing library and facilities and labs that you can think of. Nothing was made to use. Right? So for you, when you go back and introspect on each of these things, is when you will understand why is this particular question and what do I have to tell about myself? What parts of my life are important, starting from school, college, internship? Your relationships can be something. Guys, the first strongest form of rejection happens from a relationship. When somebody that you have a crush on says no to you, it is painful, right? People who have proposed and got negative responses know what I'm saying. Even if it's temporary and you don't care anymore, at that point, rejection for some people is a mess. Right? Why does it have to be only your formal education and your formal things that you have to say? When you craft a story, try to include all these funny and embarrassing incidents. That is what makes people connect to you, and that is what will make them want to like you and therefore admit you. Good one. They don't reject, they get married to somebody else. Huh? Why not? Right? But you get the point what I'm saying. So there are multiple such traumas, right? Girls, you would have gone through a lot of traumas, but still stood strong, fought your way all the way till here, and got to a point where most of you are ready to join a B school in line with the guys, right? I am not for this useless feminism where people just scream that I want to swear just like guys, I want to drink just like guys. I believe in a feminism where women rise up intellectually rather than doing all these nonsensical front end things, right? Materialistic things of and materialistic feminism doesn't at all interest me. But I'm saying intellectually also, a lot of you girls have put tons of effort in convincing your parents, your family, a lot of other variables in your system which are probably easier on the guys. Is that not an important thing? Do you bring it out in your story? Or is it like, हाँ तो इंडिया है तो हो जाता है ये सब? No. You need to carve it out like it is a powerful story of the things that you create. Sir, I took a break from my job for MBA. Break from your job, matlab to prepare for MBA. I didn't understand, Mainak. Acha, okay. You will have to craft it because there was one senior of mine who went to IIM-B and IIM-L and got rejected, and I think FMS also rejected him because not because he had taken a break and not done anything, but because he had actually worked but could not get a certificate from the place that he was working in, right? And they assumed that he was taking a break, and they told him, if you have to prepare for 6 months sitting at home for a exam to just CAT, then you probably don't deserve to be in a B school. This is what they told him, right? So you need to craft the answer slightly better. We need to relook at how do you want to position it. Marketing में हम पढ़ते हैं ना, segmentation, targeting, positioning, same thing. हर चीज, guys, think about it. Think about it. Alcohol, cigarettes, and all the other nonsensical stuff in the world are packaged and positioned so well that people die to have it. Yes or no? Aren't they not the worst things in the world and you know it? But sometimes seeing half of these packaging of alcohol, whiskey bottles and all, they're like, shit, yaar, matlab, that shows arrogance and richness and elegance. Let me go and have one of those. What is it? It is alcohol. It's chemical. It's poison. If I give it to you in a packet, you would never drink it. So if they can package and position it that well, which is poison, well, guys, imagine, right? Fast food, burgers, all of these nonsensical shit that they convince you, and they've through the positioning of sight, sound, smell, touch, they have made sure that you go crazy when you see a pizza, even though it is of sickening nutritional value. If you can't do so much, guys, what management are you saying you're eligible for? Tell me. Let's go to the next point. Are your traumas a bad thing? Some of us have gone through very bad traumas, right? Maybe lost a parent or a loved one in a younger age, or maybe even recently. Gone through abuse, physical, sexual, mental, right? Not just girls, guys. I have been abused at least 3 times, 2 times in India, or no, 2 times in Kuwait when I was in school, and one time in India. Is that a bad thing? No, it is not. No, it is not. It makes you a stronger person internally. It makes you more aware internally. And yes, like Vignesh said, if you have not learned anything from it, yeah, well, hard luck, right? There's a lot of things that we learn from it. Both guys and girls. Guys acting too macho and all that. Girls, you have no clue. Guys also get their fair share of abuse. They don't say anything because, unlike girls who hide it because probably they feel ashamed, guys hide it because their ego will get hurt if they tell it outside. Trust me. A lot of people undergo abuse in various forms. It affects them in ways you can't even imagine. It makes the most arrogant person, most self-confident person also doubt himself or herself. Right? So think about it. Of course, open up about your trauma. Say that, hey, you know what? I took 2 bullets. You sitting in your fancy couch, I got stabbed 3 times. But you know what's the best part? I'm still standing strong. Mentally abused, ragged beyond measure in college, beaten with a belt for about 1 hour. I'm not joking, guys. Made to kneel down without any clothes and being beaten. So what? You're going to sit and cry about it? Or you're going to use, anyways, it happened to you. Why don't you voice it out and show that you are a strong person? Screw you guys, because after all that you did, I'm still standing strong. Bring it on now. Should we mention what, Rajita? I'm not saying you exclusively mention about the trauma, but you say, when you say about me that I am a very strong person, I believe that I can overcome obstacles very, very perseverantly, right? And very, very strongly. And when they say, what do you mean? Give us an example. Well, I have gone through traumas. No, this is, guys, hold on, right? Getting over traumas is not directly to deal with doing an MBA. No, map the answers or the situations according to the questions that they ask you. When you say a certain quality about yourself and they ask you, can you prove it, is when you bring in this. Not that you sit there and tell your sob story. That's not what I meant. थोड़ी है कि sir, let me go bring a bottle of alcohol. चलो हम बैठते हैं and let me tell you my sob story of how I have been through pain. That's not what I meant, guys. What are we using all of these for? Good things or bad things? What are we going to use this for? For marketing ourselves. At the end of the day, you're going to tell the world, I am a player, I am a fighter, I am a warrior, which means when I have to deal with people in competition and business, I don't think twice because I have been through worse situations. Right? Think about it. There are a lot of people you have no clue, and I'm not a Bill or Mercy to discuss about their personal lives. Right? But if you have no clue, the Ajay sir that you talk of, the teacher that you see, the Pavam guy that you see, the really nice person, what all he's been through. You have no clue. You have no freaking clue. In your generation's time, he's a badass, the kind of things that he's done when he was working in Africa. Some of you probably know it, or maybe he's mentioned it. I don't know. I'm not the freedom to say it, and don't go and ask. I'm not trying to, bring out somebody else's experience. Right? So everybody has a story which makes them what they are. Bring out that story. You know what it helps you do, guys? Two things. One, marketing yourself. At the same time, it builds a confidence within you internally saying, hey, you know what? I am a badass guy. And you don't have to be bothered always about, oh my God, what will they think if I say this? Oh my God, what if they think I've heard, if they hear, what will they think? Who are they? It doesn't matter, guys. Half the people don't care about you, trust me. Half the people don't at all give a damn. They hear, if they're your friends, they might, if there is a common interest for most of them, they will gossip about it and then they leave it. They go about their own business. And I'm not saying go and open up to every third person that you see. I'm saying craft your weaknesses in a way that you can sell yourself. I'm not saying open up your floodgates and cry in front of somebody. No. I hope you guys are getting what I'm trying to say. Right? Because all of us are not wired the same way. Some of us have this that, from school and college and every workplace, we've always been achievers. Our parents have always supported us. We've always got the good food and the great nutrition and everything else. Some of us had it difficult. Our parents could not give us the time, the money, the effort, the luxuries, or the comforts even in life. We had to probably go through a lot of things and build ourselves, which makes us run a little behind everybody else in the race. But if you still have reached till here, which means it means something. Is this clear, guys? I hope this card is clear to you guys. The next thing, most of the people, what consists of achievements? Sorry, I think what consists by why, whatever. What consists of achievements? Achievements can be academic, obvious. Sports and extracurricular activities, obvious. But achievements also can be braving a situation, right? Moving ahead. Yes, things that make you happy. Hey, you know what? I do so A, B, C, D. These are my achievements. I never thought I could do this. I'll give you an example, guys. Right? There are so many things I've been able to do with the lockdown. I've been able to finish 2 courses. I took up a third. Like I said, I have the fourth degree that I took up during the lockdown time. I lost 25 kilos. All this is not some crazy thing that I can put on resume, or I have a proof for this, or somebody is going to award me something, right? But these are new milestones that you set for yourself and you achieved it. That is all your achievements. When you talk about persistence and perseverance, it doesn't have to be only for academic and extracurricular and sports activities. It can also be some physical, mental, emotional, spiritual changes that you made to yourself. Hey, I was at X. I worked on Y for so many years or so many months, and I became Y or I became Z. It could be anything, guys. It could be anything. Achievements is not subject to certain certificates. Achievements are subject only to the truth. Why they ask you for certificates is because they want to be sure that you're saying the truth. I don't have a single certificate, though I was a part of a band for 2 years and I performed multiple places. Somehow, I don't have a certificate. I think one I do have, but of me drumming or anything. But I have a YouTube video that is there, right? Some form of truth is enough. If you can give enough to what your achievement is, that is good enough. And people are looking for mavericks who do different things, who do things that other people don't consider important. And that's where you become different in an interview. Not by all of you saying, sir, I am a topper. Or what about you? I am also a topper. What about you? I am also a topper. What about you? I am also a topper. Sab log topper. What will you do? Sit around and play ringa ringa roses. If all of you are the same, how do you bring variety to a classroom if all of you did the same job? If all of you took exact the same engineering? What difference in experience will you bring to a classroom? And that's exactly what they're checking. They are there to get impressed, saying that if I pick this person, what is the difference in contribution this person will bring to this classroom? Because they need you as much as you need them. If they don't have variety of people, they will never be able to release a stats. If imagine the stats says, right, all the students in this batch are men who have done engineering, who worked in this particular company, let's say Goldman Sachs, and then came for MBA. What would that stats look like for a B school? They also have metrics if you don't know. It's not the old days where people just taught and then left. Everybody is trying to market courses and new things. I'm sure you know this. It'll be a surprise if you don't think that IIMA is also trying to market newer courses. How do they do that? By marketing the profile of the students who come to learn there. Are you able to understand what needs to come inside your achievement? So go through every aspect of your life. Your 8th, your 9th, your 10th, your 7th, your 6th, your engineering college, your 11th, your 12th, your job, your internship, your relationships, whatever the hell it is, your extracurricular activities, your volunteer work, your 100,000 things that you participated because you liked it. Pick them out. Yes, open mics, poetry, rapping, DJ, beatboxing, do all of these things, right? What joker does only science ka papers and 2 elocution competitions and 1 essay writing competition and 2 dance in the background? Portray your different side. I have done a podcast. I have done poetry sessions. I can write. You know what poetry means? It means you're great at writing things that inspire people, which means it is a great thing for people who are in marketing. Especially people who can write 2-liners and 3-liners. You have no clue how much the industry pays for this. If you are not able to put that out, how do you bring a variety in a class? In a marketing class, if I'm going to take a class and all of you jokers come from engineering background, having played football and participated in Tech Fest, what the hell am I going to teach you guys? This is not engineering or school where teacher speaks and nobody else talks back. When you go to an MBA school, you'll understand every day there's a discussion that comes in the class. The faculty and the teachers and the faculty and the students, they discuss, sir, you know what, that is wrong. This is not how I think it is. Okay, then the faculty, another student says, no, but you know what, this is the stats which says this. I have been in this industry where this is happening. If you don't bring this kind of variety, and if you cannot show this variety in the interview that you are going to do, how the hell are you going to do anything different in a B school? Or how the hell are they going to be convinced that you should be deserving a chair in that classroom? Tell me, guys. You think your 10th ka A pluses and your 12th ka A pluses and your engineering is going to get your way through? If it does get your way through and you got lucky, trust me, you will get whooped so badly at work, because there is nothing different you have got from somebody else who's also been recruited from the same college. And then you have to again compete, because you are not portraying your different self. You're doing the same thing which everyone else is doing. I'm not joking, guys. In the current company that I went, when I went there, people don't know my background, that I come from a very core marketing background and all. They're like, you will take 6 months to 1 year to understand things. 6 months ke baad, they were like, look at this guy, how much he talks and what all crazy things he's doing. Maybe he's trying to show off to the bosses. And today, in 1 year's time, I have done twice the number of things that the guy who was there previously, who was there for 5 years, did not do. Because that is the energy that you bring, right? And a lot of people, I'm not joking, guys, suddenly friends have turned crazy and suddenly they are like, hey, you know what? I think you're trying to show off. Look at you trying to impress the bosses. Yeah, so what? I can do it. Why don't you try? Like I told you earlier, there is no enlightenment in playing low so that other people will not feel insecure around you. Humble meaning, yes, when you see a poor person, you don't say something wrong to that person. If you see somebody poor asking you money, even if you don't want to give, you don't say something rude to that person or throw money at that person's face. Be humble. Don't go around hurting people. Does not mean that you don't portray what effort you have done. Correct? I hope you guys have understood this part. And like I said, your story needs depth, which means back your story and back your argument or back your answers with a definitive story in depth. Meaning not that you sit them down for 10 hours and explain to them what happened in your life, but there needs to be effective things for them to understand, acha, this guy has done something. This girl has gone through, and this girl really knows what she's saying. Most of the times, people of our generation are considered fake because we just throw shit in the air. And when people get to the reality, they realize that there was nothing really there. So please remember, your story or your answers need depth. Give at least 2 examples of something that you have done in that particular space. Are you guys able to understand? The next thing, okay, I think we covered this, right? The most dreadful minute, that is, tell me something about yourself. Most of us have no clue what the hell to say. Why, guys? This is about yourself, right? Because we are looking, I got it 2-3 times where people ask, sir, what is the ideal answer for this? How the hell do I know? This is like asking, sir, you made a girl fall for you, right? Sir, can you tell me this ideas how to do it so I also can implement the same thing? How will it work for you? How will what I did? It's not like one size fits all, right? Do you go to the store and because your friend is wearing a black t-shirt, buy the same size of black t-shirt, or do you wear your size? Think about it, right? What is the ideal answer? I have no clue what the ideal answer is. I wish I did, guys, but that would make me God, right? And more arrogant than I'm already right now. Just kidding, guys. Satwik, 1 minute is too short. Yar, always stick to 30 seconds to 1 minute. And always remember the advice my mom gave me. If they want to know more, they will ask. Keep it between 30 seconds to 1 minute. Don't give your life story to the point that they get bored and they die. Already the professors are really old. You put them into a coma. Understood? Talk for 30 seconds to 1 minute and then pause. And you should say, hey, you know what? That's pretty much about myself. And if they want to know more, hi, are 45 seconds to, if you have such crazy things to talk about yourself, if it's really, really interesting stuff, yes, speak. I'm saying 45 seconds for people who don't think they have enough to say. You understood the point, right? Okay, 45 to 90. Is it fine now? Just kidding, guys. Okay, so keep it short, and if they want to know more, they will ask you. But clearly speak what you have to speak. Don't keep the time in your head and quickly rush through things. Say 5 or 6 lines about yourself, very important things, maybe 6 or 7, but make it the most impactful thing about yourself. Okay? The next thing I want you to understand is, if you don't take pauses, you are faking it. Fifth standard was the first time I went to give an elocution competition, guys. I had an amazing speech written, or so I thought. And there was another guy called Kiran Isaac. What happened is, Kiran came and he couldn't remember the speech properly. So he kept stuttering and stammering, and then he spoke like normally and he went. I came with all my flamboyance, by hearted the speech properly, and I spoke amazingly. I got nothing. Kiran got first. Kiran is currently, if you ask me, great friend of mine. He is in Stanford. He was in Stanford, and then I think he's working with Snapchat now. Yeah. So excellence. Anyways, he overtook me and went there. But I'm just kidding. What I'm saying is, Kiran sounded, and then what happened is, my mom and all these people went to fight with the judges. You know that parent thing now. How come my son did not get? How come this one, somebody else told the speech and they also got first? And what the judges told is, madam, your son ka speech sounded as fake as it could be. Kiran's speech sounded original. So when you're saying things about yourself, don't worry about stammering, yeah, if you stutter once in a while or something. Sound original like a normal person would speak. You are not a trained speaker or an orator to keep continuously speaking for 8 hours without taking pauses. And even if you are, if you're still a human being, you will stutter and pause. Because that is the time your brain takes to think what is to be said next. If you go to a White House dinner a couple of years ago, go to YouTube and search this video. Barack Obama was there, and a reporter asked him, "Sir, I asked you about the Syria missile crisis. It has been 2 days, you have not given a reply." And Barack Obama said, "Yes, John, because unlike you, I like to think before I speak." Make sense to you guys? So don't jump to give an answer all the time. Think and organize in your head what is it that you want to convey, because that is the only time you get to impress those people. And if you say something foolish in a haste, you know who's a loser, right? Sapan, you need to do your homework. You need to be prepared, not with your answer. You need to make them sure. You can't tell them that you prepared and you did a PDP workshop, man. That's very embarrassing. Trust me, guys, these sessions you're taking are very, very embarrassing actually. You should be able to do at least this much by the time you're 22 or 23. You should be self-aware and reading newspaper every day, not letting them know that, I know the news for the past 3 months because Bipin sir taught us. Remaining to screw you. No, that's not the impression you have to give them. It should look like you've read about it, but you have to organize the thoughts in your head and you're slowly calling it out. As long as the answer is correct, how does it matter? We are not here for a speech competition or to see how fluent you are in English. Right? We don't have to let them know we are prepared and done our homework. You just have to know that you're a well-informed person. I have not done any homework. I have not done any preparation. This is how I am generally. I know things around me. There are some subjects that I really like. For example, if you ask Bipin George Verghese, he would always know 90% things in economics, not the theory and all those things, guys, that I'm probably know only 10% or maybe 1%. Marketing, digital marketing specifically, he would know most things, and laws of the country, he would know most things. This is how the impression has to be. It can't be that, hey, Bipin knew there was an interview today, so he went and prepared and by heart everything and came. No. You tell me, will that impression work? You guys tell me. Wouldn't that also augment to the fact that you are faking it? कि इसके बाद just to impress and just to make an impression ये किया है. Same like when you go on a first date, you dress really well. And then you say that, hey, you know what, I took all this preparation, which means that generally you are not very classy and suave in the way you dress. Just to impress her, you have done it. Otherwise, you are in your pajamas and you don't comb your hair or you take a shower. You tell me, will the girl agree to go out with you? If your answer is yes, God bless you. If no, I'm sure you understood my point. Is it clear? Last but not least, if today, sitting in between you guys, there are students who are going to a B school just so that they can be in a B school and have an MBA, because next year it will be too late, too costly, too blah, 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 blah. If you are settling for some random college, random here does not mean that it has to be a bad college. If it is not the college you really want, you are already losing, because you are going with the skill of a 25-year-old and playing in under 19. That's how it will be. You're running a race which is way below your standards. So if you think you're settling, stop doing it. Take another year, continue doing your job, or continue. The guys, there are hundreds of jobs and things you can do. Okay, so don't complain. The nay, sir, there's no job. I will not be able to buy. Don't do this, please. There are hundreds of jobs, hundreds of activities, hundreds of organizations you can be a part of. Hundreds of meaningful things you could have done. So if you really feel that you're settling and just doing it because there is no other option, you have already lost the battle. Because when you step up and when you go out of campus also, you will still be mediocre. If you've reached till here, put an effort to get into a college that you like. Is it great, good, bad? I don't know. A college that you really want. Are you able to understand, guys? I hope, basis what I've told you, you are able to craft your answers better. Go back and now write your answers for the most commonly asked questions. I'm not giving you any ideal answers and examples, which I will give you when you do an interview session with me as feedback. But I hope you guys are clear. And please remember, you guys are human beings. You guys are meant to have weaknesses and are meant not to be good in everything. Right? So first accept that part, be competitive, show off, and be selfish about yourself. If not, there is no profession in the world which will ever help you get your way, especially not masters in business administration. Clear? Any questions that you have, you can ask now. Otherwise, I hope you guys have understood. You couldn't find me on LinkedIn. That's impossible, yeah. Because so many students have added me. My email ID is Bibin George Verghese. There you go. Gmail.com. Sorry, I think I sent it to this thing, no, this privately, publicly, and all these things. Copy, paste. It's not coming, guys. So I hope you can see my screen. It's Bibin George Verghese at gmail.com. Please go ahead and log in and find out. I'll quickly, you know what? My screen is shared, right? Okay, I'm going to share my screen quickly and I'll show you the profile so that you guys can just go and add that for people who, sorry guys, 1 second. Right, so this is as easy as it gets because I really don't know. I think the feed, the handle is Bibin G Verghese or something like that. I have no clue what my this one is. Yeah, this is what it will look like. This is what it is. I think it is okay. It's Prof B, right? PROFB. That's what the handle's name is. This is what the profile is. This is the class that I've been teaching, I think 4 years ago in Tambaram itself. So yeah, I hope you guys are able to, sorry. So you guys know what my profile is. Go and add, go and ask all the questions. Feel free to connect, and God bless you guys. All right. Take care and have a great evening. Go lighten up yourself, have a beer or whatever that makes you, green tea, chamomile tea, whatever helps you, or even an apple will do. Okay. Bye bye. And next session will be on economics and economic survey. Sorry, on budget and economic survey. So we're going back to our serious stuff. So stay tuned, guys, and hope you had a great session. Cheers.